So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm from San Benito, Texas. I'm 27 years old and my pronouns are she and her.
Awesome. And what do you identify yourself as?
I identify myself as a proud lesbian.
Awesome. Awesome, Crystal. So tell me about, I'm so sorry about that. Sorry. Turn that off. Go ahead and I would love the world to know. Tell me how was it growing up? How was your childhood growing up?
My childhood growing up was awesome. I grew up um in a obviously in a house. I have two beautiful sisters. My dad has two other children from a previous marriage. Um, my mom and dad are married, obviously. Um, my childhood was fun. It was very, uh, I don't know how to explain it. Like it wasn't very like, we weren't like, I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but I was, I was never told that I couldn't do anything. I was always told that I could do anything I wanted, and I was always supported in everything I did as a child, and it was fun growing up with two little sisters.
Nice. Um, what does um what does your gender mean for people out there who don't understand your preference is? What does it mean?
May you please elaborate the question?
Sure. Okay, no, sorry, not your gender, your identity, or your sexual preference. What is a lesbian to you?
And lesbian is, to me, it's pretty much, I don't see myself with a male. I see myself with a female. I see myself long term being with a girl. That's pretty much what my sexual orientation or preference means to me. That's what it means to me.
Okay, awesome. Um, who was your role model growing up?
My role model, my role model growing up was my mother, and still is. My mom, she is fearless, she is amazing, she is beautiful, she's strong. She is the strongest person I she's the strongest person I have ever known and I ever will know. My other role model I have two is my father. My dad is the strongest man I've ever known. He is amazing. He he's taught me more than he will ever know. He's he's strong. He goes through so much, and he does all he can for his kids and his grandkids. And my role models are my parents.
Mhm, awesome. Um, at what at what age did you start to notice you were different?
That would be at a young age. I remember at a young age I would always want to be with the guys, be outside. And it wasn't until I was the age of, let's see, I'm 27 now, so let's say I was 25, when I didn't know, but I kind of had a feeling ish. But like I said, at a young age, I remember growing up, I always wanted to be outside, be around the boys. I always, no, I wasn't like, I want to play with dolls type of girl. I was never that girl. I didn't, I put on dresses. I did everything like a girl, like a normal girl, but it just never really felt right. I mean, I want to be that girl that dresses up, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm a strictly a jeans and t-shirt, Converse type of person.
Right. So, at a young age, knowing you were different, how was that for you?
Well, see, at a young age, I knew I was different, but I didn't know exactly what it was. I just knew I was different. So I didn't really have all the answers. No one really does. I felt like, okay, well, I'm different and that's it. I thought, for me, I thought it was because of my learning disability. I thought it was because of a whole different set of situations that go on in my life. I thought it was because of that. Those who knew me when I was young know my story back then, like when I was young and everything I went through. I thought it was because of that. I never once thought it was, hey, hello, like you like girls, you don't like guys. I never once thought. I always thought, you're a girl, you like guys, you're supposed to like guys. And then my feelings changed. It was just, I guess, not my feelings changed, but my feelings were more pronounced, shall I say? Like they were more like, oh, this is what I'm feeling. I started feeling like, I started feeling like the way the way I would get looking at a guy, I got that feeling looking at a girl.
Okay, awesome. Um, what um, what inspired you to be like, I'm gonna be myself. I'm going to live my truth.
What inspired me to live my truth, honestly, was my past. It was being so hidden in the dark. It was being so afraid to tell my truth at the time. It was it was a lot of things that came into play that really made me kind of a little bit afraid because my grandfather, may he rest in peace, he was a very religious person, by the book, by the Bible. And I respected that. And that was our bond. That was us. Um, and I respect him. But I always felt like I would disappoint him, kind of, like, oh my gosh, I can't disappoint my best friend by telling my truth. So let me just hide it for my first for the sake of kind of like my bond with him that I had. Um, and what made me tell my truth also was because I was getting so tired of secretly looking at girls. Like people would be like, I don't know, it feel weird sometimes, like secretly looking at girls, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So, now that when did you come out to your family? How, how did they react?
My family was supportive. I mean, as supportive as they can be. I don't think they really kind of understood it. I remember the first people I told, oh my gosh, for my family. Sorry, I turned off the camera. I just feel weird
They're fine.
sometimes. Um, the first person I told in my family, and they will always hold a special place in my heart, are my cousins. I remember telling my cousins. I remember we were at my grandma's house. We were at my grandma's house, and I told my cousins. I said, you know what, guys? I think I like girls. They're like, what? They're like, yeah, I think I like girls, and that was pretty much where it took off. Telling my family, it took a lot for me to tell them. My cousins already knew. Huh. It's funny because I always hear the saying like other people know before you know. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
don't know. My friends knew. Like two of my friends from college knew. They've known me for quite a while. They knew. Um, But my cousins, and I tell them, I go, you all are my favorite cousins. Like, they hugged. I remember my reaction. I cried, and they hugged me, and they told me that they loved me and cared about me. And I remember being so scared because I thought that they would turn their back on me and say, "You're not my cousin anymore. We don't love you." No, it was the complete opposite. They're like, "Okay, this is you."
Awesome. How did your parents react?
Supportive. I mean, as supportive as they can be.
Did you
You know.
get did you get the reaction you were expecting? Or was there something you wish that they would have told you?
No, I mean the reaction was, you know, as good as it could be. I mean, they weren't like, "Oh, we don't like you anymore" or whatever. But I mean, they support me. They love me. So, as long as they support and respect my decision, that's all that matters to me. And as long as I'm happy, that's all that matters to them.
Awesome. Um,
I know some people, I've heard some stories like when you do things like this, when you do come out, I hear some horrific stories where, you get thrown out on the street with it, which is so terrible. Thank God that, things like that don't happen to me. And, I can't even imagine, those, the members of our community that are treated like that.
yeah,
That
definitely something that not a
they
lot of
tell
us have that support. And it's
exactly.
sad. It's glad it makes me so happy when I know that people from our community are supported by their family. Some of us have been so grateful to have the full support of our family, and some of them have not been so lucky.
Yeah.
But what I love about our community the most is that we get to choose our own family. We get to
Oh
choose our
yes.
chosen family. That is what I love about our community. Um, it's something that I've always like growing up. Like I love that. Um, and moving on to another question. Um, what has now coming out as a now that you have came out to your friends and family, how has your life turned around now that you are able to live your true self?
This is gonna sound funny, but I could look at girls without feeling like, you know, I go to Hooters and I'm like, yeah. But anyway, but jokes aside, my what has changed is my outlook on life, my outlook on you only have one life to live. You know that saying YOLO, you only live once. It's true. Like you really do. I really do only have one life to live, and I don't want to live it just hiding. I mean, what kind of life is that? Just hiding? It's not fun, Now that I've came out, told my truth, I feel fearless. I feel empowered. I feel great. I feel like, okay, like what next? Like what other fear am I going to face? What other challenge do I have to take on?
Yeah, I like that. Awesome. So for those people out there, for families who don't accept their children or anybody in their family who is LGBTQ plus, what message do you have to those people who don't understand our community?
Be open-minded. Try to be as open-minded as you can. I mean, I know it's hard, like seeing it from another person's point of view, like trying to see it from my family's point of view, it's kind of hard. I see it like, okay, yeah, I'm out, I'm free, woohoo. But it's like I don't understand how genuinely my friends feel. Like, of course, they're happy for me, but like, I just want people to be accepting. I mean, it's a new day and age now. Like, it's a new world. We're not like, everything's advancing, everything's moving forward. I would say just be as supportive as you can. If not, be supportive, be open minded, have that communication where if you have questions, ask them. If you have any concerns, voice them out.
Um, um,
Listen. That's the best thing anybody could do is just listen.
Awesome. I definitely agree with that. Another question here. What gives you strength?
What gives me strength? Um, that's a hard question.
Is there something that motivates you to, is there, you can get strength from someone that you see online that inspires you to be you, someone in your family, your own courage to come out. Um, what strength, like how do you gain your strength? What keeps you going?
Well, I mean, I give myself strength. I mean, not to sound conceited or anything, but those who know me, those who have known me all my life and have known my story from the very beginning at a very young age, when I was preemie and all of that, I give myself strength. I've been through a lot when I was younger, when I was a baby, and I am grateful, and I know what I've been through to be alive. I know I know everything I've been through to be alive, breathing, well, healthy, even healthy. So I give myself strength.
Glad to hear that. So next question. Has there been a dark moment in your life? If so, how did you overcome it?
Are we talking like
Anything.
on the subject? I mean, yeah, there has. Um, Not many people know this, but I do have my I do I mean not do, but I did fight my own battles with I did get depressed at a moment. Some personal things have happened to me that I choose, to keep private. But those who know what happened, know what happened. And that brought me to my lowest point. That that made me think some scary thoughts that no one's supposed to ever think. Um, but what got me through the days, honestly, was my nephew, my baby nephew. He, I would hear his voice, and I would get that hey, don't give up. Hey, don't don't throw in the towel just yet. My little nephew, he is, let's see, he's 7. He's 8, just turned 8, and he and I are like two peas in a pod. Aaron, I love you very much. And um he's the one that saved me. I always say, God saved me, yes, but in reality, my nephew saved me. He saved me from my darkest days, because I know at the end of the day that he's gonna be like, well, why? Why did my tia leave me? Why, you know, my nephew. It's my nephew. My nephew has helped me through my darkest days, through anything. One little laugh or one little, little smile, yeah, that gets me through my toughest times.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. So knowing, I know you want to keep private of which whatever you went through. Um, there's so many people out there who are gonna watch this video. What message do you have to those people who are struggling with the issues you once faced? Um, you don't have to say what it was, but how would you what would you tell someone who's going through a dark moment? What advice would you give them?
I would honestly say there is light at the end of that dark, shitty ass tunnel. Honestly, there really is. I mean, you may not see it now, but there really is light at the end of the tunnel. You're gonna make it through. There is a quote, if I'm quoting it right, from someone I met in my past, and she said, "This too shall pass, and all this pain is just for a moment. You're only gonna feel it for a moment, and it's gonna go away." Things are gonna get better. Things are just gonna get better. I mean, believe me, I never thought that in a million years I would be doing this with you. I would be, doing this interview, reaching out to people like this. I never thought I would be telling my truth today. Things are gonna get better. Things are gonna get better. It may not look like it now, but hey, it has to rain before you see the rainbow, right? If I'm being really honest.
Awesome. Like that. So another question. I know you earlier in the conversation, you mentioned that you lost your grandpa. You didn't get to come out to him. Today, if you had the opportunity to talk to him at least one more time, what would you tell your grandpa?
Fuck, you really want to make me cry, damn it. um, I would tell him that I'm sorry that I didn't tell him sooner. I would tell him that I would tell him that I would tell him my truth. I would tell him my truth in hopes that he would accept me and love me just as he did the first day he held me in his hands. I would tell him that I'll be okay. Um, if I could go back and talk to him one more time, I would tell him that I love him very much, give him one big hug and a kiss, eat some Cheeto Puffs and a Coke. Those who knew us knew that that was ours, our thing. And I would sit him down and explain to him that, hey, um, I like girls, and I would hope and pray that he would be understanding. And oh, sorry, I'm getting emotional. But that's what I would tell him. I would tell him, Grandpa, I am a lesbian and I like girls, and I'm sorry if this shames you or if you're ashamed. I know he wouldn't be, but that's what I would tell him. I would tell him my truth. That's if I have one regret in my life, that's one thing. Is that I didn't get to tell him.
So thank you. You
You're
ac-
welcome.
you actually answered the next question I was gonna ask you. You
Hey,
act
what was
awesome. Awesome.
oh the last question? What was the other question?
Yeah, the next question was gonna be being who you are now, do you regret any part of
Yeah, I do. I regret not telling my grandfather. I
it?
regret.
I really appreciate that. I'm sure your grandpa is very proud of you. Even if it may go against his beliefs, I'm sure your grandpa will love you the same. You are the same Crystal that he loves since the day you were born. I'm sure he is so proud of you that you're going to be an inspiration to so many people out there. So I'm sure he is so proud of you. So moving on to our next few questions. Um, so what does what does pride mean to you?
Pride to me means fearless. Being fearless, being proud of who you are, not being ashamed, being able to wake up every morning and saying, "Hey, I am this sexual orientation and I'm proud to be it." Being unafraid to go down to the market and holding hands with your partner of the same sex or opposite sex or whatever you choose, and saying, we, like, just being proud to me is honestly walking, holding hands with my girlfriend in a store and not giving a flying blank about what others may say, the looks we get. I don't care. I don't. As long as I'm happy, that's it. That's what pride means to me. Pride means to me that I am proud of who I am. I am who I am today because of the journey I took.
So, I like that. Um, so next question. What do you think our society needs to work on, or society in general, towards our community?
um, Being more accepting, honestly. I see a lot of people who are, you know, not accepting or that don't understand what we go through every day. I sometimes wish that there was more help for the youth out there that are struggling to tell their story or are struggling to find help. Um, Maybe they're too young, they don't understand. I wish there were more people so that way other people could go talk to, professionals. Say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and I feel like if there was more help, there would be less deaths. As scary as that sounds, but it's true. I mean, if there was more help, if there were more people out there to help in our community, I feel like there would be less lives taken. Because people, as sad as it sounds, people do take their lives because they're hiding, because they're scared. I just wish that there was more help
I
for
agree.
our.
I definitely agree. So this definitely goes into our next question. The next question I have for you. What message do you have for those individuals who are struggling with their identity? What message do you have to them?
I would say that this is gonna sound odd, but the struggle isn't gonna last long. I mean, there is help out there. All you have to do is look for it. All you have to do is take it. And if you are scared, reach out to anybody, a mom, dad, sister, brother, anybody. I always heard this story, like I always heard the saying, I'd rather hear you vent than hear your eulogy, and that's always true. I'd rather, and this goes for you too, I'd rather hear you crying to me at 1 a.m. about something sad than see your eulogy or whatever, and see like, oh, Rain has passed away. Like, I don't ever want to see that.
Mhm.
I'd rather hear you talk it out to me than me not get to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. You switched that question up on me. Thank you though. I appreciate that. Same goes here for me. Like you can always call me, send me a text message. I'm very responsive. When I don't, it's because I'm out there saving our community, helping our people. But I will always get back to you. So I really appreciate that. Another I just have like about four more questions. Um, what is one thing you would like to see in this lifetime?
Um, Anything and everything. I mean, that sounds really weird, but I mean, I want to explore the world. Um, One person I want to see before I die is Taylor Swift. I mean,
You never know. She might end up hearing your story.
I I would be quiet. I would faint.
Awesome. Let's see. So what do you okay, so another I actually have two more questions. So the next question, everything that you've been through already in life, going through what you have done, accomplished, what your goals are, what message do you have to little Crystal?
Oh my god. Okay, this is kind of weird. Um, what message do I have to little Crystal? Let's see, what message do I have to her? Oh gosh. Okay, little Crystal, don't be afraid. Make the jump in the sense that take that chance. Like, don't be afraid of taking that leap and not having anywhere to land. Another message I would tell my younger self would be it's all going to be okay. That's pretty much it. It's all going to be okay.
Oh, you made me tear up. Awesome. Okay, now the final question. Um, what do you want to be remembered as?
What do I want to be remembered as?
Or how do you want to be remembered as? Sorry, sounded wrong.
I want to be remembered as a person that possibly could inspire somebody. I mean, hopefully this video helps somebody, but I mean, someone, I hope I'm remembered by my kindness. Um, I don't know. That's pretty much it, my kindness. I hope people remember what kind of person I was.
That's glad
I
you've
hope
been.
that
Yeah,
I hope that I get to make changes and I'll be remembered by them. Changes meaning like changing the way, because you never see. I mean, it's rare you see Hispanics, coming out and because our community, like not speaking LGBTQ, but like our race, like they're
our Latin
very.
community,
I'm sorry.
our Latinos.
Yes, our Latino community, they're not very known for, you know, people in the LGBTQ community. And I hope that in the future I make a difference in like telling Latino or Latina LGBTQ community members. I hope that I'm able to give them that strength, that motivation to be like, hey, don't be afraid. Like just because you're Latino, Latina, and you have this, how do I say it? Like you have this. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. Like you're known for as a Latino and Latina, you are known for being this way. Don't be afraid to be the another way. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I
Yeah,
hope I'm able to make that change. Like to give Latino and Latinas that strength to come out.
yeah, definitely. Um, so I do have one more final question.
Okay.
So now that you are gonna have your story is gonna be told, and you are proud to be yourself and living your true self, what are you going to do to be more involved with our community to help our community?
Um,
Or how
honest-
or how are you gonna get involved more? Or how would you
I'm
like?
gonna, well, this may sound weird, but I'm gonna reach out to you more because I looked as to you as like I guess my mentor or whatever. I don't know how to say it, but if that's the right word. I mean, like I said, like I've told you privately, this is my first little dip in the pool. Like, this is my little splash in the rainbow pool. I don't know, a lot of things or how to, get my voice out there and make it not a change, but like
I what I recommend,
you
um,
know,
the Valley has a really great. They're starting to have a really great support system in the Valley. Um,
mhm.
reach out to reach out to the community out there. There's I know there are groups out there in the valley that help the LGBT community. Reach out to them. Reach out to the community out there and how you can get involved when they have peaceful protests, when they have these meetings of how to get involved, how to get back to the community, how to get involved with so many things. Reach out to
Right.
them. If you want to be part of it, you want to make a difference one day, you want to keep paving the way for our younger generations to come, reach out to them. Ask for what is there that you can volunteer for events. I know there's a few organizations out there that do ask for volunteers for Pride or for different like testing, like HIV testing out there, STDs. So being part of the community, reaching out to them. I know, I know if I was down there, I definitely would be out there helping and supporting our community.
You should come
But,
down here
but of
to that.
course, I am gonna be going down there pretty soon to
Mm-hmm.
be helping out there. I definitely I never forget where I'm from. I
Well,
never forget my roots.
if
So
you need
I
hands, I'll help.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, definitely reach out to them. There's so many groups on their Facebook. I'll definitely add you to some of the Valley groups that I'm in.
Yes,
Um,
please.
def- so you definitely can have and reach out and meet new people in our community. But yeah, so Crystal, thank you so much for letting me interview you and giving you the opportunity to tell your story. And I hope one day you um I'm sure you can be you're successful. You're an amazing soul. I when I first met you, Forever 21, I fell in love with your personality. You were like the sweetest little crystal that I know. And thank you for being you. Thank you.
Oh,
Uh, it 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 makes me so happy and proud that I get to see people, and so many times when you would private message me that I was such an inspiration to you, I cried. Like I didn't
yeah.
know I didn't know I had that to inspire other people. So I that's why like more than ever like my platform I use it for good and making sure that um I keep being that role model for people I didn't know that I inspired. So thank you. People, you are one of the reasons why I fight for our community and be a voice for people who didn't have a voice.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
you.
so for so long I was so quiet, didn't have a voice, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Forget what people say. I mean, I don't. I mean, I care, right? But I don't really care. I mean, people walking in and out of your life every single day. And those who don't want to be a part of your journey, I mean, the way I see it, that's their loss. Those who don't want to be a part of my wild ride, that's your loss. I mean, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. People are always going to judge you. Who always, you know what? You never live your life for someone else. You live your life for you. People
Hmm.
are have their own lives to live. That's one thing I've always told people, and I tell myself, I'm not here to please anybody in this world. I'm here to live my truth and help make a difference in this world. I look at life so much differently now. Um,
Hmm.
the past few months has been really hard for me from
Oh,
losing
yeah.
from losing my little brother. It's been a roller coaster, but you know what? He gave me so much more strength and seeing other people, seeing how our community still is being treated by people who don't understand us, who are very ignorant and don't take the time to get to know some of us.
Hmm.
So that gives me that's what gives me strength. That's what gives me fire in me, and gets
Right.
me every day in the morning is fighting for our people in our community, and not just our community, different every community out there. Don't matter if you're not part of LGBT. We're all going through something that we're all going through something similar. So thank you so much for taking your time and reaching out to me and wanting to do this interview. So I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Hmm. You're welcome.
So before this interview is over, do you have anything you would like to add on, tell me, or ask me?
Not necessarily you, but like the people who are gonna say this to my loved ones, to my family, to my friends, to everyone who has supported me on this crazy wild ride. Thank you. I love you. I love you with all of my heart and soul. I love everybody that hasn't left me since day one. Who will never leave. It means the world to me that you have not turned your back on me just yet. I hope you don't, but it really means a lot. Um, and I mean, all I have to say is ending this is happy Pride Month, you guys. I love y'all so, so, so much. And please do not ever be afraid to be yourself. I know I'm not looking directly at the camera because I'm scared, but don't ever be afraid to be yourself. Be fearless, be fierce, be amazing, be you. That's all you can be.
All right, well, thank you so much, Crystal.
You're welcome.
I will be keeping in touch with you, and thank you so much. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Pride. But remember, Pride is just not this month. Pride is
That's
every day.
true. That is very true.
All right, doll. Well, thank you so much, and I will talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye bye. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.